Yo, girl, what day is it? Oh, this joke is not gonna work. I gave her catnip before this, and now she's all nipped out. You can see all the catnip on her. Normally she would be like, but now she's just like, I had too much of the nip. I had too much nip. Well, that's okay. It is old school April, and this is the beginning of the first vlog. I'm gonna do vlogs for every week of April. So I am very excited to get started on this. I did get, luckily, I was very surprised because I didn't expect it to come till late, but I got myself my OSA shirt. Look at how beautiful it is. Wow, wow, it's so beautiful. So I'm going to be wearing that today, obviously. I mean, you gotta. I also got a cool sticker with that. Foop-a-da-foop-a-da-foop. Well, yeah. So it's a sticker of the logo as well, so I'm excited to do that. I would probably put that onto my Greeting Janelle. It is also the start of Giant Ape Reel, which is devoted to King Kong and other giant ape related materials. And that's being run by Roy Reads Anything. And he sent me this nice pin. So it is also part of my old school April collection for today. So I have a few things on the go. So my father was in town last weekend, and he literally just left this morning. So I didn't actually get as much reading done as I wanted to. But what's nice about Old School April is as long as you still have 50% of a book left, it still counts. So I've been reading Warhammer Ignorant Armies, which is actually it's very appropriate for Old School April because it's a short story collection and it's the first ever Warhammer fantasy series ever written. So this is the very first Warhammer fantasy book. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I love it. It's got a lot of cool artwork. But since it's like a short story collection, I'm only going to kind of be like reading it off and on throughout the month. But you know, I still have 50%. It's 250 pages. I only got to page 100, so I still have some of that. And then I'm also listening to the audiobook for The Angel of Indian Lake, I believe is what it's called. The third book in Stephen Graham Jones's slasher series, which I've been listening to on and off, and I am about 30% into that, so I have the other 70% to read this month. But that's on audio, so I probably won't be reading much of that today because I'm not doing much today. There is sprints happening. The opening sprints is happening later today. So until that sprint's happening, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reading Bleeding Skull, the 1990s horror trash odyssey. I got a few pages into this last night, but very, very little of it. But this book looks absolutely amazing. Like the layouts of this, I'm so glad I have this physically because I read the first one like digitally, and it's just not the same. So I actually got this as a gift from Kelsey from Slime and Slashers. So it seems appropriate to start Old School April with a gift from the Corn Queen herself. So that's my plans today. So let us begin. Who's your most beautiful girl? It's you. It's you, Nami. You're the most beautiful girl. So I'm currently on reading sprints. It's the Old School April kickoff sprints. And whoa, this is weird. Look, what are you recording there, Kelsey? Wait, I don't have my thing on, right? Kelsey's recording something. What is she recording? I don't know. But there's this little cat here. Pika, pika. But even though cats are not Pikachus. Anyways, I have been reading... Oh, where did I put the book? Ah, here. Yes. I read the first bit of Bleeding Skull, a 90s horror trash odyssey, and now I've been reading a bunch of The Black Horde, which is a beetle animal attack book that's actually like pretty damn fun so far. I'm afraid I'm not going to actually get anything read the first day, so I'm actually going to be pivoting and reading all of this Venom Lethal Protector comic book series. Just so I have one thing under my belt for the first day. My name is Moosey Boosey. Moosey Boosey. So yeah, it's going pretty good. Hello. It is actually Wednesday, not Tuesday. Yesterday, I did not do much of anything. Um, I went a little bit too ham during the live show, so I was recovering from the opening. But alas, it is fine. It is fine. Feeling much better today, this morning. I did get some reading done yesterday. I did finished the audiobook for Angel of Indian Lake, which is the third book in the Jade Daniels trilogy. I don't know what I think it's called. Like, is it called the Indian Lake trilogy? I'm not sure, but I like to call it the Jade Daniels trilogy. But it's the Stephen Graham Jones books that are like My Heart Is a Chainsaw, Don't Fear the Reaper, and this one, which is Angel of Indian Lake. It was really good. I love the characters, and I love the writing that Stephen Graham Jones has for these characters. I will admit there are a few things that like I don't know if it fully tracks as far as like the plot goes. Like I'm not 100% sure if there might not be a few little plot holes, but I had such a good time with it. I don't think that really matters that much. Like, I don't think it matters super hard about those little details that may or may not completely align, especially because, like, the emotional beats are there and the action and the carnage is completely wild near the end. Like, there are some wild set pieces near the end that go just off the rails and just bajonklers. So I had a good time with it, and I really appreciated the emotional beats as well. I'm gonna miss those characters. I will say, if you've not read Don't Fear the Reaper in a while, maybe go back and read the like Wikipedia synopsis for that book because I forgot that that book had a lot of moving parts, and like I think the sequel also has a lot of moving parts, but like it's not as complicated as I think Don't Fear the Reaper was. Don't Fear the Reaper might still be my favorite of the three, but even though I love that book, when I went back to read the Wikipedia thing, I was like, oh, there is significant portions that I had forgotten. So I'm like, oh yes, there was a lot of stuff happening in that book, and it was not a simple book. So that is probably the most. I would almost say that like, Don't Fear the Reaper is probably the most pure slasher of them. Because it's like very much like someone comes to town and it's slasher sins. But regardless, all of those books are really great. I have a great time with all of them. It's like again, it's only by degrees. I think like Indian of the three of them, the Angel of Indian Lake might be my least favorite, but like only by like little degrees because I think they're all really great books. I also did finish the first comic book of Venom Lethal Protector, which again is a book that does not have great writing, but is something that I love because it's like 90s comics are so much fun to read, and Venom, especially, is a character I always really enjoyed, and I'm not going to show you that. So I really enjoyed that little introduction, and I'm excited to read the novelization that I picked up recently because there's a lot to that original series that I did not remember. I was like, well, actually, I did not know it was in there because I never actually read that. I read a bunch of the sequels to that original series, but I've never actually read the Lethal Protector. But a lot of ideas are introduced very quickly and would become very important to the character's history in the future. So it was really quite a cool surprise in that regard. So that was good. And then I only read a tiny little bit more of the Black Horde, and oh my goodness, the carnage is finally going ham, and I'm gonna be definitely finishing this today. I don't have too much of this left, so looks like it's gonna be a pretty relaxing day, full of reading and nothing much else. Talk to you later. Hello, it is the next day. I'm doing very bad at doing updates for this vlog. But I just finished a very outrageous series of sprints with Kelsey that were amazing and were the highlight of my night. I've done a bit of reading today. I did. Sorry, Loomis. Here's more pets, more pets, more pets. I did finish Black Horde, which is an animal attack book. This is very much a basic animal attack book. Like a very, like, if you've read one animal attack book, you've kind of read them all. This one does have a little bit of extra spookiness and ookiness in some of its writing, because like there is some pretty good writing in this, and it's like some genuinely scary sequences. So I did enjoy that. There was one chapter I really just kind of skipped a bunch because it was between like the only sex scene in the book. Like there's people who have sex, but the only sex scene that the author goes into detail with is like between an 18-year-old and like a 38-year-old. And I'm like, no, I'm not reading this. No, thank you. No, thank you. But the rest of the book was fun and enjoyable. I just skipped that chapter because it's like, I don't need to read this. I'm not reading this. Okay, cool. Thanks. Other than that, though, it was quite good. I mean, it's one of those books where if you remove those chapters where it's like, Higgledy Piggledy just lost his job, but he thought things were looking up, and then he gets eaten by like a bunch of, in this case, there's beetles called the Devil's Coach Horse, and the beetles just eat a bunch of people. But like, there's like probably like 10 of those chapters that it's all like Bobby McBobberson's great aunt just passed away, and he was looking up because he got all the money from the estate. Oh no, what are these? Oh goodness, they are a bunch of evil killer animals that are going to kill me. So like there are like a bajillion of those. Without those chapters, this book might be 50 pages long, and it's like only 150 pages as it is. So there's a lot of it. That being said, I do love those chapters. They're always very silly, and there's some like genuinely spooky scenes in here. I do think they probably had some. They kind of cut corners a little bit, like where you don't get a lot of the like, here's how the military's gonna try to fight them, and like they're not even flamethrowing these boys until like the very end of the book. Like I wanted some more action. Like I like these are like this is all like very small beetles. So like the action is not as much of a focus as much as being eaten alive by these things, which would be scary and is gross and is like goofy. But I like when they're like a bit bigger because like then you can like kick them or punch them or throw them across the room and have like an actual battle with them. Like because in the rats, they're big rats. They're big boys. So you can like fight and punch them, throw them places. I will say I did like this better than James Herbert's The Rats, because I don't really love that book. It doesn't really have many gross, like, or racist or any type of the things that make The Rats kind of a bummer to read. But it's definitely not as good as the sequels to The Rats. Like, Layer is still my favorite, probably one of my favorite animal attack books that I've read, which is the direct sequel to The Rats. I love that book, but regardless, this was a lot of fun still, and it's very much a predictable level of fun, but fun nonetheless. I have also been listening to William Scholl's The Dragon, which is a paperbacks from hell from the 80s, and it is a very interesting book. I'm kind of just getting into the big horror sequences, and it seems like there's some weird stuff going on. It's like this group of people. This man lost his wife when there was like a mugging gone wrong in New York. He's a photographer. He's very like withdrawn after losing his wife. So his friend, who's like this religious aristocrat, comes and convinces him to help him out with a excavation he has going on, and take pictures of an excavation going on in New Mexico. And there's just like this big mesa, and like they all try to travel down to the mesa. And it's interesting because like it's a very much like it's setting up like a very kind of King Kong-esque story where like they're going into a place that it was previously undiscovered, and there's very clearly a dragon in there. And it's because it's called The Dragon, I mean, obviously. But there's like something else going on because like certain characters have like I think characters like there was like these workmen who are like clearing out some of the rubble before they can go on to the next like area of this excavation, and like they have like weird creatures in their stomachs. Like they kind of have like chest bursters, I think. So I'm like, whoa, what's going on? They're like currently in the hospital and like they're doing x-rays and they all got weird creatures in their bellies. So like I don't know what's going on there. Some other dude got like attacked by a bunch of evil scorpions. Well, sorry, they were like weird prehistoric wasps. I don't know. But they had like venom arachnid uh esque things. So, so yeah, no, it's interesting and good, and there's a little bit more to it than just being one of those things because there's a lot of talk about like racism in here and like how people get to be racist, and it's interesting. It's actually kind of an interesting take that is I think they might nail it, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So I don't want to talk too much on those elements because I don't know if those elements are going to go right down into the dumps. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. I have about 4 hours left, and I think the dragon is going to F some stuff up. So really looking forward to it. And it's very weird. It's a very weird story so far. So I've never heard anyone who has read it. So I'm interested to do that. And then I'm also reading this, which is the first 6 issues of The Amazing Spider-Man, including Amazing Fantasy 15, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man, but it is collected in this weird kind of paperback format instead of their normal comic book format. I've read all of these quite a few times, actually. This is probably about at least my 3rd or 4th time reading these very old Spider-Man comics. And I'm having a blast revisiting them. So, a ton of fun. It's always interesting going back to read old Spider-Man comics because there's a lot of things that you're like, huh, it's weird how little things changed. Like, for example, J. Jonah Jameson is not writing for the Daily Bugle at the start. He's writing for Now Magazine, which of course becomes the Daily Bugle. And I would almost imagine because I'm only on rereading issue 2 right now, I would imagine by issue 6, it might already be the Daily Bugle that you know. But there was like little changes like that, little very early editions of Spider-Man where they haven't quite figured out exactly everything that they're going to do. So it's kind of fun to see things evolve into what we know. It's really interesting reading these. The first 20 issues of The Amazing Spider-Man is still some of the most important comics ever written because almost every adaptation of the character factors in those first 20 issues. So it's really, really quite interesting. We'll be reading more of that. Apparently, I'm just going to go for a little bit of a walk and listen to some music. But other than that, I don't have a lot left planned for the day. If I do finish this tonight, which I probably will, I mean, it's only like 9, then I will do an update on that because I think I might also try to sneak in a nostalgic magazine tonight as well. So I will show that off later. Thank you guys, and have a great day. Goodbye. This was a hoot. I love old school Spider-Man, and the first 6 issues are really fun. So the Now magazine that I was talking about, the Daily Bugle is also introduced. So like originally, J. Jonah Jameson did Now magazine and the Daily Bugle, but anyways, also an oddity about this comic, Electro, who was on the cover of this book, does not appear till issue 9, and this only collects the first 6 issues, so the cover is a lie, which is just kind of funny. But the back cover isn't, because the back cover has all of the actual villains that are in here, like Doc Ock, Dr. Doom, lots of doctors. I believe that's the burglar, the lizard, the vulture, and the Sandman. So those ones are all in the first 6 issues. Electro is not. Regardless, these were wonderful. I love these. And I've read these many times before, and I will read these many more times before I shuffle off this mortal coil. So a very fun read. And now I'm going to bed. Good night. Currently streaming The Hidden for old school April peeps. This movie is amazing. I love this movie. And yeah, this is the first update today because once I finish this, we'll talk with my other updates. I have been doing stuff. Okay. Back to the shooty shoots. Okay, so I'm going to have to be quick about this, as Kelsey is about to start her sprints, like, ASAP. So, let's do a little bit of a mini haul. These are some books that I hauled today. All Judgment Fled, mainly because, look at that cover, it's rad. Baphomet's Meteor. Like, come on, who would not buy that? If you wouldn't buy that, you probably shouldn't be subscribed to this channel. I did buy this one. The Cambridgeshire Disaster. I know, just kind of look cool, you know? Those little corgis, they look cool. Grail, A Tale of Epic Horror. And Hunter's Blood by J. Cunningham. And then I also went to my local comic book shop to grab a few comic books that I plan on reading. We have the second issue of Alien, Black, White, and Blood. I sing that like it's American's Funniest Home Videos. Godzilla, War for Humanity. I believe that's the final issue of that series. There's another Alien, Black, White, and Blood. I didn't realize there were two of those in there. I thought they would have been more sparse with those releases. The Predator comic, very cool. It brings back John Schaefer, who is Dutch Schaefer's brother. And then the Mighty Morphin versus Godzilla Power Rangers comic. The Godzilla Power Rangers, that would be cool. But this is the second version of that story, so that's pretty cool. Very excited for all of that. So I also finished the audiobook for a book called Dragon by William Scholl. And I was reading that quite a bit off and on for the last few days. Finally finished it today, and I loved it. It got weird and wild and just... It went there. It is like the story about like these people who go on an excavation in New Mexico to this unknown, undiscovered place, and let's just say, there be dragons, and things go wild. I had never read any William Scholl books, and I'm very excited to read more of his books, because that was awesome, so that was really fun. And now I'm going to go sprint on Kelsey's channel, Slime and Slashies, and then tomorrow I have some stuff to pick up, so... It's going to be a busy day tomorrow, too, so talk to you later. Bye-bye. What's up? What do you want? You want to snuggle? Snuggle time? Yeah, is it snuggle time? Yeah. Snuggle time. I'm currently, I'm going to snuggle. I'll come back. I'll do my first update after I snuggle. Okay, now that we're snuggling, I'm in the position to snug. So like I said, I am currently on sprints with Kelsey and Christine. I just got back from doing some running around. I went to the Warhammer store to pick up a new book, The Lord of Excess. I'll show you that a little later. And then I also got another book that they gave me for free because there was like an issue with a pre-order I made. So that was really cool and nice of them. So I'm currently, I'm snuggling with Wisteria, but after probably about 10 or 12 minutes, I don't know. We'll see how long this goes. Maybe I'll never come back from sprints. I'll just be laying here with Wisteria all day. But I will be continuing reading It Came from Bob's Basement, which is all about the sci-fi collector Bob Burns, and I have kind of a coffee table book of that I'm reading. So excited to read that. I did start the audiobook for Death Dream by Graham Masterton, the second book in the Night Warriors series, and it was really good. Like, it started out real strong, so I'm interested to go back and read more. I was listening to the audiobook, and the audio narrator was, really good, so I was like, oh, this is cool. So I'm glad to finally be getting to that, because I've meant to get to that for, ages, and I'm glad I am, because it's really quite good. So far, it's just, weird things happen with their kid. Some demon, I think, is possessing their child. So, and destroying the household. I don't know while he sleeps. I don't know. It's pretty weird. I'm into it though. Loomis, what are you doing? Okay. So yeah, that's the plan for today. Not too much exciting. Talk to you guys later. So these are the two Warhammer books that I got today. The Gabo Rides Again, which is one I got for free. They messed up a pre-order a little while ago, and I was chill about it. I was like, whatever, it's fine. But they decided to throw in an extra book, so this is like they had like a store anniversary sale, and I pre-ordered it, but they didn't get the one that I ordered in. So as a replacement, they're like, oh hey, we'll give you this one. And then today he surprised me by saying like, hey, you were such a good sport about that. I'm going to give you another one of these free. And these are like nice hardcovers, and anything with Warhammer in a hardcover, like, they do not last for long. So I actually think that's really fun and awesome. And the one I was really excited to get because I just love it. I love it. This is Renegades Lord of Excess by Rich McCormick. I've not read a Rich McCormick book, but I love this cover. It is Sunday, the last day of this vlog, and I don't know, I was in a bad mood today. Because of real life stuff. But I was able to finish this book. It came from Bob's Basement, which looks at all of the life of Bob Burns. I really thought that this was going to just be a almost like a book form of an art exhibit for all of his pieces. And you definitely get tons of his pieces here, but you also get a ton of his history. And like, I think that really made this book special, like, because it really goes through what he was doing, what pieces of film history he actually was involved in. Like, he worked really quickly with Paul Blaisdell, who was like this actor who did a lot of who was a special effects creator who created a lot of the artwork for various AIP films. So like Invasion of the Saucermen, The Terror from Beyond Space, which was very important to the movie Alien. I think that's actually She Creature. I'm pointing at She Creature, but he was also involved in The Terror from Beyond Space. And also, I didn't realize that Paul Blaisdell and Bob Burns were like best friends. Like, they were like, for a while, they worked so closely together. And there's this awesome project they did a magazine called Fantastic Monsters of the Film. And unlike something like Famous Monsters of Filmland, it was actually focused on accurately retelling and accurately capturing film history and the making of various monster movies. It unfortunately didn't have a long runtime, and they kind of got conned out of everything that they created for the magazine, which is very sad. And the falling out of the magazine kind of led to Paul Blaisdell and Bob Burns not really being friends anymore, which is sad. But that was really interesting. And yes, this is like from American Werewolf in London, a bunch of those props. But like, he then went on to do some stuff where I had no idea Bob Burns was like a gorilla dude for a while. So much so that I didn't realize that he was in the original Ghostbusters. If you don't know, the original Ghostbusters, the show called The Ghostbusters, was a show from the 70s where there was these two actors, and there was a person in a gorilla suit busting ghosts. And yes, the Ghostbusters. It's why, if you've ever seen, like, they occasionally will try to bring this form of the Ghostbusters back every time there's a new Ghostbusters movie, so it's kind of funny. But I had no idea. Yeah, that was Bob Burns. Bob Burns was the one who was the freaking gorilla in the beanie cap. So that's amazing. I had no idea. And this book is really sweet. It seems like he's just a nice old man writing this story, and like, his relationships are very nice and sweet. And he has these amazing Halloween parties, and like, this blew me away because he has all of these props from the original Alien,
and he was like famous for doing amazing haunted houses in the early 70s. And when Alien came out in 1979, they wanted to do like production and like give some promotion for the film, so they allowed him to use some of the real alien props for his haunted house. Like they had just got a bunch, so he bought a bunch of those. And Walter Koenig, from who was Chekhov from Star Trek, he agreed to play the captain in the haunted house. And I was like, what? And like the people from 20th Century Fox, they came over and were so impressed by the haunted house and how it looked and how it stayed true to the film that they gave him all of the alien props. This is crazy, incredible. So he has got a ton of alien props, including, this is Aliens, but like so many original alien props. And oh man, those things are looking rough, but it's so cool. Like he's got the freaking cat carrier, dude. Like he's got all the good stuff. This is like the Bishop torso from, Aliens. And then this guy just like lives my dream life, because the very final chapter is devoted to King Kong, which goes very well for Giant April. But he has got one of the original, and what we are pretty sure is like the last surviving King Kong armature from like the original King Kong, which is absolutely wild. There was a few armatures made, but like this is one of them, and I'm pretty sure this is the only surviving one, and it's absolutely crazy. He was also involved in that Universal. He did a few test shots for the Universal film that was going to go and compete with Paramount's remake of King Kong back in 1976. So there was like a little bit of detail there that I was like, oh, I had never known that. That's amazing. So yeah, this like single-handedly brought me out of my bad mood. Single-handedly. These are all so cool. Everything was so cool. My mood was instantly brought to big ones and happiness. So yeah, this book is great. Easy 5 stars. What a great read. Highly recommend this if you're a person who is all interested in film history and just loves hearing a good old-fashioned Hollywood tale. Dude even met Ed Wood, so that is really cool. Thank you guys, and I think I'm going to do some house cleaning. I might watch one more movie to end out this vlog, but if not, thank you guys for tuning in. Okay, so I'm going to be watching the next episode of Invincible, which I was like, oh, I don't know if this counted. But then I was like, wait, when did the comic book start? And the comic book for Invincible started in 2003. So this is a new adaptation of an old book. Woo, woo, woo. Look at all them points falling into my lap. This guy's got a weird head. Hey, weird head, get off the screen. I want to see someone without a weird head, bro. There you go. No more weird head. Whoa, look at this. All right, something's happening. I'll be watching this now. And I'll watch a movie after this, but oh, robots getting slashy dicey. Alright, so the final thing I'm going to do for this vlog is I'm going to watch Cameron from Library Macabre's host pick, Everything is Terrible the Movie, which is an hour long and it's on YouTube, so let me indulge into the madness.